Welcome back, art friends. Happy to see you again today. I hope you joined me earlier today as I read to you Why is Blue Dog Blue? A Tale of Colors by George Rodrigue. And I'm not going to tell you why he's blue. Hopefully you tuned in and now you know yourself. So if you did, you're thinking, and hopefully you've been thinking about what your blue dog is going to look like. So let's get started. I'm going to give you the supply list. I'm going to give you a little pause, and then we will start drawing Blue Dog together. All right? So, easy list today. It's paper, and then you see this big long list. You only need one or two of those to make this project, okay? So paper to draw on, crayon, marker, oil pastel, chalk, or paint. Doesn't matter. Pick which one you like, but you need one thing to draw with. So maybe a pencil or a crayon or an oil to draw with, and then we'll move on to coloring it with marker, crayon, or paint or chalk if you have that. Okay, so let's press pause. And welcome back. All right, so you have your paper, and I think it's easier if you make your paper vertical, tall, okay, because Blue Dog is sitting there nice and tall with his forepaws out. I'm going to use oil pastel today to make it nice and dark and bold, easier for you to see, and just, I think it kind of goes with George Rodrigue's style. So we are going to draw Blue Dog. So before we do, let's just kind of study him, all right? What do we notice? I heard somebody say this white marking around his nose and up between his eyes. Yes, all of George Rodrigue's Blue Dogs have that same marking, and he has lots of them, and they're not all blue, as you know from my other book. All right, so yes, that's one noticeable thing about his dog, so we'll make sure to do that. What do you notice about the eyes? Yes, they're always yellow. It doesn't matter which color his dog is. Let's see if I can find another page. I don't want to see if I can find a different colored dog. Oh, this book might not have the other colors. There he is with the monkey. How funny is that? But he always has yellow eyes. Good job. How about the shape of his nose? What do you notice? Yes, kind of rectangular, a little bit curved on the edges, right? Because a dog wouldn't have a really pointed rectangular nose. Great. Does Blue Dog have a tail? Do we see his tail in any of the pictures? No. So you can add a tail if you want to. That's totally up to you. You're the artist, right? But otherwise, we're going to keep to George Rodrigue's style, okay? So let's get started. We're going to have our paper vertically, like I said, and I like to start with the eyes. And for the eyes, because he does have that white marking in the middle, I put 2 fingers down on my paper, not up at the very top, because I remember I need space for the ears. So I'm going to put my fingers on, and I'm going to give him nice, beautiful eyes. 2, 1 on each side of my fingers. And this one is a really nice circle. Is this one perfect? Nope. But guess what? My eyes aren't perfect either, and neither are yours. Everybody's eyes are a tiny bit different. Did you know that? So I'm going to go around nice and dark. So do you have your 2 circles for eyes? And if you want to, you can add the pupil in the middle by adding a nice dark dot. Right? A dot is like a circle, but it's colored in. All right, so we have our eyes. He looks fun so far. Under the eyes, in the middle, is the nose. And what shape did we say that was going to be? Yes, a rectangle, but it's not going to have points. It's just going to be kind of curved, right? So kind of a curvy rectangle, almost an oval, right? Okay, good. And in the middle of his eyes and around his nose is that white marking. So I'm going to go right next to his eye, kind of like he has a little bit of a wrinkle, and I'm going to go around his nose Oops, I gotta hold my paper, sorry. And then back up and around. It's sort of like a triangle, but it's very curvy, isn't it? Right? Skinny at the top, wider at the bottom. All right, now I'm gonna add his little chin. It's so cute. My dog has that too. There's like little whiskers on it. All right, so he's looking cute so far. Now we're gonna make his head. And you would be tempted, like we do with people, to make the head go all the way around. But that's not how a dog's face really is. So we're gonna start right here next to his nose, next to his little marking there, this white triangle thing. We're gonna go all the way around, and it's okay if it's not a perfect round head because he's a doggy. And I'm gonna stop right there. All right, that gives us the illusion of the dog's head kind of behind his mug sticking out. If you think about a real dog, that's kind of how it is. You see his head, his cheeks, his eyes, and then his nose kind of sticks out. So it gives us that almost like a 3D effect by just using lines. Next, we're gonna do the ears. What shape would you say Blue Dog's ears are? Are they floppy like some dogs, like a Basset Hound? No. Are they kind of rounded? No. They are like a triangle, but they're a little bit shaggy. So I'm gonna make mine go up to a point and then come down like a triangle, but then as I get closer to the face or the head, I'm gonna kind of add a few zigzags. All right, so again, I'm gonna go up, come down, a few zigzags, and there we go. So far, so good, right? Now we're gonna do his body. And his body is gonna start from his head, and I'm just gonna do 2 curved lines. I'm gonna go down and a little bit curved back out, almost like a big wide S. And I'm gonna come down and a little bit in and a little bit out. A little bit in, a little bit out. All right, so we have those 2 curved lines, you got it? And if I'm going too fast, just pause. It's easy, right? All right, next we're gonna add his paws, and you can make them however you want. They're just kind of like little doggy feet. There's one there, there's one there, and I'm gonna make the letter U upside down in between the 2 of those paws. All right, it's like a rainbow shape. So I'm gonna go up, over, and down. All right, so he's just kind of sitting there like this, right? Now he does have 2 back legs. We're gonna show those too. I have more space on this side, so I'm gonna show a little bit of his hip. I'm gonna go down and then add a little foot, a little curve. So down, kind of in, then out, and a little foot. All right. And the last little paw, you're not even gonna see his hip this time. We're just gonna show out and then in for his little paw. Now, George Rodriguez' dog does not have a tail, like I said, but if you want to add one, you can. If you want to, you can add the dark part in the middle of his ear. You can do that. Another thing he has are kind of like eyebrows on his dog, and they are not like curved, perfect, like people ones. They're kind of like bumpy, like a little bit uneven, okay? He even sometimes puts them down underneath too, like you can see in this one, can't you? Right? All right, so we drew him, we signed him, and voila, he's ready to go. He's ready for paint or marker or crayon. So I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks for the painting part. So I already got started over here so I can show them to you. All right, I'll put this one back here. Let somebody else color that one. So I decided that my blue dog is not gonna be blue. And if you were with me earlier for this book, the dogs are not all blue in here, and George did not make all his dogs blue. Many of them are blue, but not all. So I decided, since my dog at home is sort of a orangey color, that I would make my blue dog orange. And so I got out my handy dandy color wheel. I want to show you, boys and girls, that I'm using orange, but I'm also using a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red. So I'm using these warm colors together. All right, so I gave him a little bit of red on the side, a little bit of yellow in the belly, because my dog's belly is lighter, and then a little more red and darker orange on the edges. All right, so that's for my dog. For the nose, this little marking on his nose, what color did we say we're going to leave it? White. But for the nose itself, I really like to use a nice dark black crayon or oil pastel, because it almost looks kind of shiny and wet like a dog's nose. Isn't that so good? So it does look a lot more, I think, like a dog's nose if you can do that. And I put a few little spots in there for his little nostrils. I don't know, you can sort of see that. All right, so I got that. The other thing I want to make sure I point out is to make the yellow eyes. No matter what color dog you pick, keep it with George's style and give it yellow eyes. I think that would be really cool. It would be a nice way to show how his art looks and what his style is, and almost kind of like a little honoring and respect of his beautiful, amazing art. All right, you don't have to, but that's a good way to go. Then finally, I'm gonna finish painting real quick his face and his ears, because I want to show you another little thing before we go today. I want to show you something about contrast. So contrast is when you take a color that's maybe opposite or the other side of the color wheel. It's not anything like it. And those of you who do compare and contrast in reading, you always say what's the same about the person that's comparing, and then contrast what's different maybe about the two main characters. So it's the same in art, really. So these colors are kind of similar, right? We have yellow and red to make orange. They're all kind of next to each other, similar colors. They feel warm, like a fire or like the sun, right? And then we have contrast would be a color that's nothing like it. It's not warm at all. Maybe it's cool or cold color. So that would be the contrasting color. And when you paint using those two different ones, very different, opposite on the color wheel, I'll show you in just a second, it makes the two colors really stand out. They really pop. They're so much more interesting and vibrant. All right, so I'm going to show you the difference. I have my orange right here. And eventually I'm going to learn how to fast forward my videos so that you can watch me paint quickly, and then we can still get to the rest. So if you need to, just fast forward it on your own. I know you guys are so good with technology. All right, last ear. And then I'm going to show you what it will look like. Do you see my blue tape all the way around? It's called painter's tape. Oh, that ear's a little bit extra red, isn't it? Painter's tape is amazing for art projects, especially if you're painting, because when you take it off, it naturally gives you a little frame, and that's super fun. So not everybody has that at home, but if you do, ask your mom and dad and see if you can borrow some. All right, so there's my orange dog, and now I'm gonna show you on the color wheel, if I want to pick a contrasting or opposite color, or even they call it complementary because it makes the other color look so good, I'm gonna go straight down from orange off on the bottom of the color wheel here And what color do you see? Blue. Yes. So if I would have painted my dog yellow and I want a contrasting color, I'm going to go straight down and I'm going to find purple or violet. If I paint my dog red and I want a background color to be opposite, I'm going to paint the background green. So I remember it easiest by a few sports teams, like the Vikings. I know they are a football player. They are football players, a football team, and they are violet and yellow. Love their uniforms. Detroit Tigers, orange and blue. They use complementary colors because it just really makes those colors pop. Christmas, green and red. You see that all the time. It just really makes the colors so vibrant and fun. So I'm going to now take another paintbrush. Let me grab one. And I'm going to use the opposite of orange, which is blue. And let's just see how this looks, okay? See what you think. If it makes our dog really stand out nicely. Now you don't have to use just plain blue. You could use blue and maybe purple, because purple's right next to blue on the color wheel. So let's see, how does that look so far? Do you like it? Does it kind of make our dog pop? I think so. And when I'm done and I take this tape off, you'll see it'll have a nice frame around it. And that's why I like to use that. I don't do that when I'm teaching with you guys at school. I do sometimes with my Anton art friends. I hope some of you are out there watching. But it's hard to do this with like 30 kids to tape up your paper. So that's why we don't do it at school. That would take a lot of tape and a lot of patience. All right, so there's my blue background. See how it's kind of making my dog pop? I can't wait to see what you come up with. I'm gonna finish mine off camera and I'll post it for you on Facebook and on the website, glitterandglue.mrsicourse.com. But send me yours when you're finished. Send it to icourse@mtcps.org or go to my Glitter and Glue with Mrs. Icourse Facebook page. Have your parents post it there. I can't wait to see what your dog looks like. Is it going to be blue? I don't know. It's going to be fun. So see you soon. Have fun making your blue dog today. And I'll see you tomorrow with another project by Yayoi Kusama. We're going to do a polka dot cat. So tune in tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.